I should shut off the sound machine. Hi guys. My sweet Elsie passed away. I wanted to let you guys all know because you've all been so supportive and so wonderful and so loving. Since you've known her, but also since I told you about her diagnosis and that she was sick. I'm sorry. I want to tell you now because you've all been so supportive and so loving. So thank you. She passed away during the night. She was my first baby and she taught me how to be selfless and mother human babies, right?
Right.
Right.
Right, Mommy.
Right, honey. Sorry, this video is probably going to be all over the place. Elsie had been my cat for 14 years. She was born under my parents' front porch. She was the first set of kittens that was born to a couple strays that had come to my parents' house right after our first family dog had passed away. And she really felt like a gift. She felt like a gift from God. She felt like a gift from my dog that had just passed away. And she was a ferocious little cat. When she was born, she had no teeth and she would hiss and she was so scary. She was all the other kittens were so sweet and so cuddly and she was so not. She had such a little attitude and she would hiss at everyone. And I remember my mom saying, like, you know, it was a litter of 5 or 6 cats and she was like, we can't keep them all. We'll find homes for these kittens. But I don't think anyone is gonna want Elsie because she's so ferocious. And so we kept Elsie and we kept her brother, Jack. She lived at my parents' house. And I remember the night before I left for my first Disney Cruise Line contract, I was laying in bed and she had come into my room and she was laying on my chest and I was taking a bunch of pictures on the like photo booth on my Mac. This was back in 2009. And I remember thinking like, oh, it's such a shame that we're just now like really bonding and I have to leave tomorrow to go to Toronto. And I went and I did 3 Disney contracts, and when I got back from my last one I saw Elsie, and at that time my parents also had I think 4 other cats too. And Elsie was ferocious, but she was also very timid and scared and shy. And if you knew Elsie in real life, you know that like she seldom ever came out from underneath the bed. She was very nervous. She was a very nervous cat, a lot of anxiety. And I guess the other cats, she didn't do well around the other cats. And my mom like didn't notice or like didn't do anything. And it was hard for her to eat with the other cats, so she had lost a lot of weight when I got home and she just didn't look great. And she ran into my room the first night I got back from that last contract, and from that moment on she was my cat. She was my cat. And I remember thinking like, okay, like you're my baby and like I'm gonna take care of you. And that was it. And when we moved to New York City, she came with me. She met Jeff. She was unsure, but she loved watching the pigeons outside the window in New York City, and she grew to love Jeff. And whenever we would go on vacation or anywhere, we'd have people come watch her, friends, and they always talked about how sweet she was. She was very partial to some of our female friends. And then when we moved down to Florida, we brought her with us, and that was a big move. That was huge for her. It was really hard for her. She hated being in the car. She hated being in the carrying case. So that was really tough. But I'm so grateful that she was down there with me because Jeff ended up being down there for a couple months and then got work back up in New York. And so I ended up living in Florida for like 4 months by myself with Elsie. And I could never have gone through it without her. I suffered from a lot of anxiety when I was living down in Orlando by myself, going through a lot, and she was there. She was there for me. And if you have pets, you have animals, you know how supportive they can be and how good they can be for anxiety. And she was there. Part of me feels like she absorbed some of that anxiety and fear so that I didn't have to feel it. And then we moved back up here, and she was so sweet with my pregnancies with Hugo and Theodore. Even when she got sick a couple months ago, she was always so patient. You know, Theodore's in the phase now where he's super grabby and wants to like grab and pull at everything. And there was one day a couple weeks ago where she was walking by me and I was sitting on the floor with Hugo and Theodore. She walked by me. Theodore grabbed at her fur and had like a grip on her fur. And she didn't scratch him, she didn't hiss at him. She could have easily, you know, turned around and swatted at him. We don't have any more, honey. You ate them all. Hi guys. It's a few hours later. Both the boys are napping and I don't even remember what I was saying. Today has felt like such a blur. This is very cathartic for me to do. I couldn't just like not mention it, obviously, and not say anything. She was and will always be such a huge part of my life. But yes, just thank you for all your love and support. And I'm gonna take a break from social media for a little. I have some videos pre-filmed, which is good. So those will go up, and then I'll come back with a vlog or something so we can kind of play catch up. But I just feel like my head feels really heavy and I feel really tired. So yeah, thank you guys. I love you. Thank you for all your kind words. I actually just posted something on Instagram, and so many of you have said the sweetest, most beautiful things about Elsie and about me as her mom. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it and how much love I'm sending back to all of you. So thank you, and I'll see you